Good morning to you.
Good morning, John.
I know you want to talk about voting here in a second, too, because there are some misconceptions, but what is Operation Restoration for those who aren't familiar with you?
Yeah, so Operation Restoration is a nonprofit that provides support to women returning from incarceration. We provide reentry support and support to any woman or girl who's been impacted by the criminal legal system. We help them navigate their lives as they come back home.
You know, and people, you want to have somebody who makes the transition, who becomes a productive member of society. Again, you don't want to have recidivism. You're trying to help them smooth their way back into the world?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a social services department with life coaches who help with securing job. We have housing specialists to help with securing housing. We have an education department to help individuals who may want to get their GED, to take further classes, learn how to use a computer again. We provide any kind of support you need as you're reentering society.
I know there are, you know, the outcomes would be as varied as the people that you're serving, but I'm sure there are some stories of someone who just is inspiring what they managed to eventually overcome.
Absolutely, absolutely. We catch people right when they're coming home, women when they're coming home from incarceration. We provide them with the reentry support that they need. We get them housing, and it's so inspiring to see when a lady has come back and she's made it through the program. She joins our lab assistant program, she graduates, she gets a job, gets secure housing, reunites with her family. So inspiring.
There are, as we mentioned here at the top, there are some misconceptions involving voting and what people know or don't understand about their right to vote.
Yes, absolutely. So the misconception is that once you've been formally incarcerated, you lose your right to vote forever. And that's simply not the case. Once you've been incarcerated and you are on parole for 5 years, then you're eligible to re-register to vote in the state of Louisiana.
So if you are serving jail time, if you're in prison, you're not going to get to vote. But
Exactly.
Once you're out of prison, and after, in Louisiana, I think the period of something like 5 years.
5 years. Then you can re-register.
And there are actually people who don't vote because they don't understand it, or how does it impact the
That's
system?
correct. Everyone thinks that if you've been impacted in some kind of way with the criminal legal system, you received a conviction, you served time in prison, you lose your right to vote forever, and that's not the case. Even if you're on probation and not in prison, you are able to vote.
Interesting. Do women coming back into society face, obviously they would face different challenges. Childcare could be one, it seems
Absolutely.
to me, but how is it different than somebody who's a man?
Yeah, well, for starters, there are a lot of resources for men, but there are not very many specifically targeting women. So that's what our organization does. We provide that specific support for women, like you mentioned, childcare, reuniting with their children, other things that are just specific to women.
To try to make sure that they don't get locked into whatever kind of behavior got them sent to jail or prison
Exactly,
in
just
the
to
first
provide
place.
them all the support to navigate life, because sometimes when you come back home, it's a very different society than it was when you went in.
And obviously, the longer you were in, if you're a long-time inmate coming out, the challenges obviously would be huge.
Absolutely. There are some ladies who don't know how to use a cell phone or navigate computer services, so we help people with that as well, navigating the cell phone and knowing how to use the computer, the internet, things like that.
Things we take for granted.
Absolutely.
Ashley Crawford from Operation Restoration, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, John.